But this was a pretty interesting thing that I guess was on CBS Sports. And, it was it Gary Parrish? I look at the article. Oh, it was Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander. It was both of them.
Yeah.
So,
Nice
combo
duo.
deal.
It's a good duo right there.
Yeah. Which I always thought, you big J journalist that's on here, I thought if your last name alphabetically came before, you should be first in the line. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. Doesn't matter. I'm an idiot. Anyways.
Well, put me first then.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. I start doing that. But either way, they put out an article about who was college basketball's best high major coaching hire of 2024. And maybe even least shocking than the season ticket sales going out for Arkansas. John Calipari was the number one best high major college hire of 2024 at 43.4%. The only one that no one's even close, but the second is Dusty May at Michigan at 21%. So I don't really think
the worst one, dude.
Yeah, I don't think this is a shock.
He's gonna be fired in 3 years.
And the coolest thing about this is like it was a jury of his peers. The Matt Norlander and Gary Parrish, they do this summer series every year, which is awesome. And they come out with several articles about it, and they do like a big catch-all podcast. It's not trying to promote anybody else's work, but they do a really good job with it. But they interview more than 100 Division I college basketball coaches, and it's very strategic. It'll be head coaches and assistants. It'll be high major to the lowest major to get just kind of a full viewpoint from the sport. And so, to have nearly half of the vote from your peers, that's really good. Yeah, 43.4%. BBN, sorry, Mark Pope, 8.5%. I mean, that was third place, but that's pretty low. So did you lose the coaching trade here? Maybe so. People were talking. I did notice in the others receiving votes category that Eric Musselman did receive a vote. So somebody thought that was one of the best. Well, somebody thought it was the best high major hire of 2024.
It's an objectively good hire, right? Eric Musselman at USC,
makes sense.
Yeah. I think so.
Especially because what USC's basketball has been doing for the last, half decade or a decade, ain't like much is going on. Curtis, I want to ask you, how much of this do you think, if they had done this vote the day that Cal got hired, I feel like it would have been a lower percentage, right? Because just in a nutshell, you think, okay, John Calipari, clearly one of the better coaches in basketball, but it's not like his PR had been super high this time last year. But I think seeing what he's already done this summer and seeing the roster he's built and seeing Arkansas just really hit the ground running, how much do you think that maybe gave him a little bit more street cred than he already had?
Yeah, I think that probably definitely helps. I will say, I think it would have been different if it was, polling media or polling fan bases. But I do think that, other coaches, fellow coaches who are kind of in the trenches, they're not as much of prisoners of the moment. And I love how even in this article, they go through and they kind of have some anonymous quotes from these coaches who voted. And I'll read a couple of them. The first one, the only Hall of Fame guy someone hired, period. That was his quote as to why he made the vote.
True.
This is true. But I think it goes to show you that people in the industry still have a ton of respect for what Cal's doing, even despite the NCAA tournament lack of success the last few years. Calipari is the best hire. His track record at every stop is the highest level of the sport. Arkansas may sneak into his best stop with all the power in reserves and fans. And the backdrop of less attention will give him some freedom to breathe. He'll enjoy it there. Another one, Cal stayed too long at Kentucky. He knows that now, but I talked to him on the road, and you can just tell that a weight has been lifted off of him. I'll be shocked if he doesn't go to another Final Four. He's going to win big again. He has everything he needs to win big again. Hand me that Kool-Aid. Somebody.
I was like, Curtis, you should not have read that, dude. I'm about to be buzzing, man. Nobody wants to talk hoops with me now, man. I'm about to be over the top obnoxious.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, see, that's funny. The one that was just the shortest one of only Hall of Fame guy someone hired, period. It just kind of sums it all up. It's like, he is in the Hall of Fame. But going back to the voting and all that, I'm not trying to talk trash, but I'm just being honest. I am shocked that Muss was not even in, it's the lowest guy that has a percentage is Kyle Smith at Stanford at 3.8%. You're telling me that Kyle Smith at Stanford, I don't even know who that is got more votes than Eric Musselman at USC? I don't know. I was a little shocked to see Muss not at least crack in the top 5 of the major coaching hires.
Well, the reason he didn't is because he doesn't get along with the other coaches.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
They probably
Nobody
didn't
would
want to vote
publicly
for
give him props.
It's a weird deal. I mean, we remember that from like SEC basketball media days where a lot of the coaches there are hanging out with each other and catching up and rubbing elbows. And this was very cool. Don't get me wrong, but Muss was hanging out with us.
Yep.
I mean, he was with us. The media that would travel there, he'd eat lunch with them and hang out. And so that was great. But yeah, he wasn't just working the room with all the other coaches, his counterparts there.
No, in fact,
oddly enough, the one he probably would have been likely to do that with would have been Calipari. Calipari liked each other.
Yeah. Because in fact, Curtis, you remember he was doing the opposite. He was actually talking about the coaches he hated the most in SEC. Like he was going off about the ones he hated. I was just wondering because when they did the other receiving votes, I wonder, is it kind of like in the college football playoff rankings, like it goes by the order of the amount of votes that they had? So like if they're listed second to last, like Eric Musselman is, that means he had the second to last most votes. Danny Sprinkle at Washington's dead last. So I don't know. That'd be really funny too if he was not only there, but he was receiving votes of 1. So you got to count down. They're like, oh, he was actually the 12th ranked ones,
right?
And that's how it's done. But man, yeah, it's hard not to be when everyone's already excited about Razorback basketball. Like it's getting fever pitch level, but stuff like this is just kind of like, man.
Is this rat poison? Is that
yeah?
Okay.
Yes.
Grade A rat poison.
Mm-hmm. But I don't care. I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. I'm gonna
as long as
the
players and coaches don't read it, we cannot let them get their hands on that.
No. In fact, I'm kind of curious what Cal will talk about if some preseason poll comes out and Arkansas is ranked 12th or something. Just throwing it out there. But what will be his reaction when he's asked about it? Is he going to be like, "Oh, we don't look at that stuff," or is he going to be like, "No, honestly, I think it's too high." I don't know where they're getting at this. I mean, this is a team. I can tell you right now, we don't look like the 12th ranked team in the country. Playing it like, oh yeah,
that's the one. John Calipari is a very big. What we are to now is not what we'll be at the end of the year guy. Very very big on that. Be patient.
He would do that. He would always kind of be like, I don't know what they're basing that off. I mean, I know we've won a lot here, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like that team that he had that was like that didn't win the championship that they started. Was it 38-0? I think Nevada, I remember going into the NCAA tournament, they were asking about this and like him being like, he was just like, I don't even think we're the best team in the country right now. And I was like, you went undefeated in the regular season. How do you what do you mean? But yeah, he's going to play that. He's going to play that type of part in it too.